Well, actually, this book is not just one book. It's like from the feeling, it's at least two books in one, or maybe even more. Because I had the feeling that in order to explain at least the perspective of the way of thinking of Spanish football and especially of Xabi Alonso, which I touched during my other experience in Spain, um, and which is obviously it's present there in their team because one assistant coach of him had been at Real Madrid, he as well. The athletic coach and another assistant coach who had been to Barcelona. So obviously they are the main present influences also in Spanish football, also enriched by his career, by his experience as a player, which had been at or where he had played at this famous coaches like Guardiola, like Mourinho, like Rafa Benitez, and even more. So to explain it a bit, the perspective, because I had the feeling that especially here in Germany, everybody is amazed how they play, and this is that has to be like this. But for example, I think in football we have the tendency to be a little bit superficial. To put it like this, I think in football we think we can go to the art gallery, seeing a Picasso, and after that coming home, and we think we are able to draw or to paint like Picasso, but we are not just by watching something, but not understanding the meaning of it. So for me, it was important to explain, first of all, also general things like what is a game model, what is a game idea. And by this, explaining, okay, how do they play? What is kind of their, what are general intentions for them in the way they like to play? And when I decided to do this project, and sometimes I am in that a bit crazy. So if I decide something, then I have to do it, and there's no left or right. I have to go through. So I decided in last winter, okay, probably they will not lose again, and I have to do this. I have the feeling I have to do this because I have to explain it a bit more, or we cannot say that in football there's not this kind of development in a broader way. So I have to at least try to give an additional perspective to football, at least now for the German audience, and we will see how quick I will be in order to translate it to Spanish or English or both. So and then we have kind of micro ideas, and you can say that what from my observation was really interesting, that you can see like three dimensions of a player or of Bayer Leverkusen's approach to a game. So first of all, there's the first dimension is Xabi Alonso's probably game idea. To put it like this, he has a certain alienation, or he has a certain system he wants to play, like to put it a bit superficial, 1-3-4-3, and then he has in the second time. And having this system, it means that there are certain objectives for all the players in every position. But then adding another dimension, having the characteristics of the players in that position. So of course it's a great difference if there's playing a player like Florian Wirtz or not, or if there's a right wing with Jeremy Frimpong or with Nathan Teller, because they're adding different things to the game idea by the way how they interpret their position or their role. So this is the second dimension, and of course there's then a third dimension, which is okay, based on our next opponent, which is maybe Munich or Dortmund or whatever. We need interpretation, maybe even more to that space or to that space, or by giving a problem during a game. For example, it was against Bayern Munich, where Tuchel, I think, tried to outmark or to put man on man in the center. Then they even added another player to the center with Grimaldo, and they had 4 players or sometimes even 5 players through the center in order just to progress by the center, because for them it's important. And to see all this, to see the evolution of this game idea to a way, I think now in the world of football, there's this kind of topic or this kind of fashion to talk about the relationism game. And of course, you can say that there's certain kind of or aspects of the game of Bayer Leverkusen are also probably you can describe as relationism, because you have to relate together and you have to feel together. And there was a shift also in the end of the season, adding more freedom to the players. But I think in this discussion there's something missing, because again, at what moment you can add freedom to something? You can have freedom to something if you know already good your idea or your model you want to create, and if you have if you are sure, or if you know, okay, usually in our team we want to have it like this and like that, and now I know, okay, now is not the right wing at that position, now is coming maybe the central defender to that position or whatever, and we know to create our new organization in a fluid way, in a dynamical way. But it's if you compare the last game of Bayer Leverkusen or the last 2 games, because in the finals are always played different. But if you compare that kind of games with the first game he played when he arrived, of course, there are certain similarities, but there are also huge differences. Why? Because the team now, or at the end of the season, now it's already another thing. We can come to this later. The team was feeling how they want to play. The team was not even knowing it. They were feeling how to play. They were knowing everybody is important, which is another thing, and the great achievement of Xabi Alonso by his leadership to put like every player in the squad, putting into the team. But the really amazing thing of this is they played all the time, all the same. Nevertheless, he changed 11 players, other players who were just coming in maybe for 3 games in the whole season, but everybody knows what to do, and not to put it too much like everybody has to know what to do in terms of I have to give too much information, but the game idea is so clear, the roles are so clear that even, for example, a player like Piero Hincapié, who is usually or who was usually playing as this left central defender in the 3-line formation. He was also playing as a left winger or as a left outside player, and he was able to fulfill both roles even within 1 game. And this was really interesting because when I had been formatted in tactical periodization, we had also this kind of discussion if maybe there's a risk of injury if you're putting a player to a totally new environment or position, because the profile of the position is different. But as he was able to manage both, it also meant for me that it was not that new, or at least that the training had been in that kind of way that he was able to interpret both positions in his way, and but also in the way or in the manner Xabi Alonso wanted to play. And right now, again, it's more or less the same we also touched with Real Madrid before. If you are playing or if you're bringing new players in, it changes a bit the order and the organization we already had. So now you have to bring the new players a bit closer to the idea, because the players don't know the idea yet that deep, like the squad from last year already had. And this is again a process. So in this process of being really fluid in the way they played last year, probably, or they can achieve it again, of course, but it will take another time because the new players have to get used to the way they want to play. But to close also this topic of relationism, for me it's really important, and that this was also why there's a big, or there are always, not a big, but there are always some small parts of theoretical football knowledge inside the book in order to understand the tactical concepts. I think it's really important, the Spanish language, for example, because in the Spanish language they're using a lot of expressions for the technical action of a pass, which could be connect, which could be no, they're missing some English words, but they have like 5, 6, 7 meanings which already have the intention to connect, which already have a social effective meaning, which have to or which are creating already the image of having the pass as a gift, having the following action, having the meaning of, okay, we are doing something together in the best way. But if you consider, or if you're observing passes played in football, or maybe even in your team, probably you see that not a lot of passes are gifts for the teammates, sometimes even more for the opponents. And to have this
Sometimes
culture,
it's a bomb to your teammate.
yeah. So, but even to have or to understand this social effective meaning, or this cultural meaning, is important in order to see, okay, but how is the perspective then if we are talking about passing as a connecting thing? Then of course everything else changes because the baseline changes. So, and this was something where I just had the feeling I really want to do this. Yeah, I found my way to have this, and uh, everybody who was already able to do a book, we all know that's not that easy. So I'm really happy that that's now it's done, and of course for this kind of audience now, I have to do the extra mile, right?